Hare Krishna. Thank you, Pawan Prabhuji, for leading the chanting today. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Danvat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Start with Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. Okay, last week we concluded our prayers from Sri Govinda Damodar Stotram by Srila Bilvangal Thakur, and this week, of course, this whole month we've been celebrating Jagannath Rath Yatra in Puri and of course in all major cities here in the US by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. So this week we can recite Sri Jagannatha Ashtakam as our prayer of the week. I've shared the link in the chat if you want to open that, and I'll also share the screen here, and we'll sing this beautiful prayer to Sri Jagannath, Baldev Subhadra and Sri Sudarshan, composed by Sri Adi Shankaracharya. Okay. कदाचित् कालिन्दी तटविपिन सङ्गीत करवो मुदाभीरी नारी वदन कमला स्वाद मधुपः रमाशम्भु ब्रह्मा मरपति गणेशाचितपदो जगन्नाथः स्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे भुजे सव्ये वेणुं शिरसि शिखिपिच्छं कटितटे तुकूलं नेत्रान्ते सहचरकटाक्षं विदधते सदा श्रीमद्वृन्दावनवसति लीलापरिचयो जगन्नाथः स्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे महाम्भोधेस्तीरे कनकरुचिरे नीलशिखरे वसन् प्रासादान्तः सहजबलभद्रेण बलिना सुभद्रा मध्यस्थः सकलसुरसेवावसरतो जगन्नाथः स्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे कृपापारावारः सजलजलदश्रेणिरुचिरो रमावाणी रामः स्फुरदमलपङ्केरुहमुखः सुरेन्द्रैराराध्यः श्रुतिगणशिखगीतचरितो जगन्नाथः स्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे रथारूढो गच्छन् पथिमिलितभूदेवपटलै स्तुतिप्रादुर्भावं प्रतिपदमुपाकर्ण्य सदयः दयासिन्धुर्बन्धुः सकलजगतां सिन्धुसुतया जगन्नाथः स्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे परब्रह्मापीडः कुवलयदलोत्फुल्लनयनो निवासी नीलाद्रौ निहितचरणोऽनन्तशिरसि रसानन्दो राधा सरसवपुरालिङ्गनसुखो जगन्नाथः स्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे न वै याचे राज्यं न च कनकमाणिक्यविभवम् न याचेऽहं रम्यां सकलजनकाम्यां वरवधूं सदा काले काले प्रमथपतिना गीतचरितो जगन्नाथः स्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे हर त्वं संसारं द्रुततरमसारं सुरपते हर त्वं पापानां विततिमपरां यादवपते अहो दीने नाथे निहितचरणो निश्चितमिदं जगन्नाथः स्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे जगन्नाथाष्टकं पुण्यं य पठेत् प्रयतशुचि सर्वपापविशुद्धात्मा विष्णुलोकं स गच्छति श्री जगन्नाथ अष्टकम की जय. श्री आदि शंकराचार्य की जय. Anybody would like to read the translation?
I can read, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Sometimes, in great happiness, Lord Jagannath makes a loud concert with his flute in the groves on the bank of the Yamuna. He is like a bumblebee tasting the beautiful lotus like faces of the cowherd damsels of Braja, and great personalities such as Lakshmi, Shiva, Brahma, Indra, and Ganesha worship his lotus feet. May that Jagannath Swami be the object of my vision. In his left hand, Lord Jagannath holds a flute. On his head, he wears peacock feather, and on his hips, he wears fine yellow silken cloth. From the corners of his eyes, he bestows sidelong glances upon his loving devotees, and he always reveals himself through his pastimes in his divine abode of Vrindavan. May that Jagannath Swami be the object of my vision. On the shore of the great ocean, within a large palace atop the brilliant golden Nilchala hill, Lord Jagannath resides with his powerful brother Balabhadra and his sister Subhadra, who sits between them. May that Jagannath Swami, who bestows the opportunity for devotional service upon all godly souls, be the object of my vision. Lord Jagannath is an ocean of mercy and as beautiful as a row of blackish rain clouds. He is the storehouse of bliss for Lakshmi and Saraswati, and his face resembles a spotless, full blown lotus. The best of demigods and sages worship him, and the Upanishads sings his glories. May that Jagannath Swami be the object of my vision. When Lord Jagannath moves along the road on his Rath Yatra car, at every step large assemblies of Brahmans loudly chant prayers and sing songs for his pleasure. Hearing their hymns, Lord Jagannath become very favorably disposed toward them. He is the ocean of mercy and the true friend of all the worlds. May that Jagannath Swami, along with his consort Lakshmi, who was born from the ocean of nectar, be the object of my vision. Lord Jagannath, whose eyes resemble full blown lotus petals, is the ornament on Lord Brahma's head. He resides on Nilchala hill with his lotus feet placed on the heads of Anantadev. Overwhelmed by the mellows of love, he joyfully embraces Srimati Radharani's body, which is like a cool pond. May that Jagannath Swami be the object of my vision. I do not pray for the kingdom, nor do I pray for gold, rubies, or wealth. I do not ask for a beautiful wife as desired by all men. I simply pray that Jagannath Swami, whose glories Lord Shiva always sings, may be the constant object of my vision. O Lord of the demigods, please quickly remove this useless material existence I am undergoing. O Lord of the Yadus, please destroy this vast, shoreless ocean of sins. Alas, this is certain, Lord Jagannath bestows his lotus feet upon those who feel themselves fallen and have no shelter in this world but him. May that Jagannath Swami be the object of my vision. The self restrained, virtuous soul who recite these 8 verses glorifying Lord Jagannath becomes cleansed of all sins and duly proceed to Lord Vishnu's abode. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Ati Mataji. Yes. So may that Lord Jagannath be the object of our vision. And this is the same thing that Srila Prabhupada is teaching his disciples in San Francisco in 1967 as they're installing, as Prabhupada installed the Jagannath deities, Jagannath Baldev, Subhadra, and Sudarshan in San Francisco. And he told Hayagriva Prabhu to chant Jagannatha Swami Nayanapatagami Bhavatume. So, by Srila Prabhupada's mercy and compassion, today Jagannath Swami is Jagannath Swami's Rath Yatra has been performed all over the world, in every corner of the world. So let's continue Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit. Yeah, last week we saw Prabhupada asked Malati Mataji and Shyam Sundar Prabhu. They brought little Jagannath from the import store, 3-inch Jagannath, and looking at them, Prabhupada was so ecstatic and blissful. And then he asked Shyam Sundar Prabhu to carve Jagannath, 3-foot high Jagannath, since he was a sculptor, and he made it. And even though he had some challenges, he had some blood poisoning. Eventually, Lord just protects us. That is the way He takes away our sins, right? So the Lord, when we are fully surrendered, and the Lord uses these small things in our life to take away all our past sins, burn our past sins, so that we can become fully dedicated and fully pure, and then we can go back home, back to Godhead. So Srila Prabhupada is teaching his disciples how to perform arati of Jagannath with with arti and circling, showing them how to perform arti, how to offer fruit and flower. At least whenever they come to the temple, they should at least bring one fruit or flower. And so they already started doing all of that. They're bringing anything new clothes that they're buying, they're offering to the Lord now, Lord Jagannath. So they're having a blissful time in performing the different limbs of bhakti as Srila Prabhupada is teaching them slowly. Okay, so we'll continue from here. Speaking privately in his room to one of his disciples, Prabhupada said that during Kirtan in the temple, he thought of Lord Chaitanya dancing before Lord Jagannath. He told how Lord Chaitanya had traveled to Puri and danced before Lord Jagannath in such ecstasy that he had been unable to say anything more than Jug, Jug. Lord Chaitanya had been thinking, Krishna, for so long I wanted to see you, and now I am seeing you. When Lord Chaitanya had lived in Puri, as many as 500 men at a time would visit him, and every evening there would be a huge kirtan with 4 parties, each with 4 mridanga players and 8 kartal players. One party this side, one party this side, Prabhupada explained. One party back side, one party front side, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the middle. They would all dance, and the 4 parties would chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That was going on every evening, so long he stayed at Jagannath Puri. The devotees understood that there was a great difference between themselves and Swamiji. He had never been a hippie. He wasn't at home amid the illusion of hate ashberries, LSD, psychedelic posters, rock musicians, hippie jargon, and street people. They knew he was different, though sometimes they forgot. He spent so much time with them every day, eating with them, joking with them, depending on them. But then, sometimes they would remember his special identity. When they chanted with him in the temple before Lord Jagannath, he, unlike them, would be thinking of Lord Chaitanya's kirtans before Lord Jagannath in Puri. When Lord Chaitanya had seen Jagannath, he had seen Krishna, and his love for Krishna had been so great that he had gone mad. Prabhupada thought of these things to a degree far beyond what his disciples could understand, and yet he remained with them as their dear friend and spiritual instructor. He was their servant, teaching them to pray like him, to be able to serve Krishna. O Lord of the universe, kindly be visible unto me. Govindadasi had a question for Swamiji. He had mentioned briefly that Lord Chaitanya used to cry in separation from Krishna and had once even thrown himself into a river, crying, Where is Krishna? She was unsure whether her question would be proper, but she waited for an opportunity to ask it. One evening after the lecture, when Prabhupada asked for questions and there were none, Govindadasi thought, This is my chance. But she hesitated. Her question wasn't on the subject of his lecture, and besides, she didn't like to ask questions in public. No question? Srila Prabhupada looked around. Govindadasi thought Swamiji seemed disappointed that there were no questions. He had said several times that they should ask questions and clear up any doubts. Again he asked, Have you got any questions? Govindadasi, well, could you tell about Lord Chaitanya asking? Prabhupada, Govindadasi, asking, Where is Krishna? Prabhupada, Govindadasi, could you tell about Lord Chaitanya asking, Where is Krishna and falling in the water? Or would that be not? Prabhupada smiled. Yes, yes, very nice. Your question is very nice. Oh, I am very glad. Lord Chaitanya, he was the greatest symbol of Krishna Bhakti, a devotee of Krishna. So just see from his life. He never said that I have seen Krishna. Never said I have seen Krishna. He was mad after Krishna. That is the process of Chaitanya philosophy. It is called viraha. Viraha means separation. Separation. Krishna, you are so good. You are so merciful. You are so nice. But I am so rascal. I am so full of sin that I cannot see you. I have no qualification to see you. So, in this way, if one feels the separation of Krishna, Krishna, I want to see you, but I am so disqualified that I cannot see you. These feelings of separation will make you enriched in Krishna consciousness. Feelings of separation. Not that Krishna, I have seen you, finished, all right, I have understood you, finished, all my business finished. No, perpetually think of yourself that I am unfit to see Krishna. That will enrich you in Krishna consciousness. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu displayed this, these feelings of separation. This is Radharani's separation. When Krishna went from Vrindavan to his place, his father's place, Radharani was feeling in that way, always mad after Krishna. So Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took the separation feeling of Radharani. That is the best way of worshipping Krishna, becoming Krishna conscious. So you know that Lord Chaitanya fell on the sea. Krishna, if you are here, Krishna, if you are here. Similarly, the next devotees, Lord Chaitanya's direct disciples, the Goswamis, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, they also, the same disciplic succession, they also worship Krishna in that separation feeling. There is a nice verse about them. Srila Prabhupada sang, हे राधे व्रज देवी के च ललिते हे नंद सूनो कुतः श्री गोवर्धन कल्प पाद पतले कालिंदिवने कालिंदिवने कुतः घोषन्तविति सर्वतो व्रजपुरे खेदेर्महाविह्वलौ वन्दे रूप सनातनौ रघुयुगौ श्रीजीवगोपालकौ I offer my respectful obeisances to the six Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatan Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who were chanting very loudly everywhere in Vrindavan, shouting, Queen of Vrindavan Radharani, O Lalita, O son of Nanda Maharaj, where are you all now? Are you just on the hill of Govardhan? Or are you under the trees on the bank of Yamuna? Where are you? These were their moods in executing Krishna consciousness. These Goswamis also later on, when they were very much mature in devotional service, what were they doing? They were daily in Vrindavan Dham, just like a madman. Krishna, where are you? That is the quality. It is a very nice question. Srila Prabhupada paused and uttered a thoughtful, hmm. He remained silent. They also remained silent, watching him. He sat cross legged on the black velvet pillow on the redwood dais. His hands were folded, his eyes closed, and he became overpowered by inner feelings of ecstasy. Although the simple devotees present could not know what was happening, they could see him enter a deep inward state. They could feel the atmosphere transform into awesome devotional stillness. They kept their eyes fixed on him. A minute and a half passed. Srila Prabhupada uttered another thoughtful and opened his eyes. They were filled with tears. He reached over and grasped his kartals, which rattled in his hand, but he moved no further. Again he withdrew from external consciousness. Another minute of silence passed. The minute seemed extremely calm, yet intense and long. Another minute passed. After almost 4 minutes, Prabhupada cleared his throat and struck the kartals together, beginning the slow rhythm. A devotee began the one note drone of the harmonium. Prabhupada sang, Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya, Radharamana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya, building the chanting to a lively pace. After about 10 minutes, the kirtan stopped, and Prabhupada left the room. As the devotees rose and began their various duties, some leaving out the front door behind Prabhupada and going to the kitchen, others coming to there for conversation, they all knew that their spiritual master had been intensely feeling separation from Krishna. They had no doubt that it was a deep ecstasy, because just by being in his presence during that long and special stillness, they also had felt a glimmer of same love for Krishna. On the invitation of his disciples, Srila Prabhupada agreed to hold a kirtan on the beach. On a Tuesday night, with no kirtan or lecture scheduled in the temple, he got into the back seat of one of the devotees' cars. About a dozen initiated followers and a couple of dogs got into other cars, and together they traveled to the beach. When they arrived, some devotees went running across the beach, gathering driftwood and building a fire in the shelter of a sand dune. The late afternoon air was cool, and there was a seaside wind. Prabhupada was dressed in a long checkered coat over a hooded sweatshirt. During the Kirtan, he clapped and danced while the devotees joined hands, forming a circle around him. As the sun was settling, all the devotees faced the ocean, raising their arms and singing as loudly as they could. Hari Bol! But with the surf pounding in on the coast, and with the great expanse of windy air around them, the Kirtan sounded very small. Gathering around the fire, the devotees buried foil wrapped potatoes and foil wrapped apples filled with raisins and brown sugar under the coals. It was their idea, but Prabhupada was happy to comply with their ideas of California Kirtan fun. Haridas and Haigriv had composed a song about the sage Narada Muni, and they sang it for Prabhupada. Do you know who is the first eternal spaceman of this universe? The first to send his wild, wild vibrations to all those cosmic superstations. For the song he always shouts, sends the planets flipping out. But I'll tell you before you think me loony, that I'm talking about Narada Muni, singing Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada laughed. He liked anything that had chanting in it, and he asked them to compose more such songs for their countrymen. Walking together along the beach, they came upon an old, dilapidated Dutch windmill. Mukunda, Prabhupada said, you should approach the government and tell them that we will restore this windmill if they let us build a temple on this site. Mukunda took it as a joke at first, but then he saw that Prabhupada was completely serious. Mukunda said he would inquire about it. Prabhupada, in his oversized checkered coat buttoned up to the neck, was the beloved center of the devotees' outing. After their walk, he sat with them on a big log, eating baked potatoes smeared with melted butter, and when he finished, he threw his remnants to the dogs. As the night grew dark, stars appeared high over the ocean, and the devotees stood close around Prabhupada for a last kirtan. Then, just as in the temple, they bowed down, and Prabhupada called out the prayers to the Lord and the disciplic succession. But he ended, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the Pacific Ocean. They all laughed. Swamiji was doing what his disciples wanted, enjoying an evening kirtan cookout at the beach with them, and they were doing what he wanted, chanting the Mahamantra, becoming devotees of Krishna, and becoming happy. Hayagriva sat facing Prabhupada, alone with Prabhupada in his room. A few days before, Hayagriva had shown Prabhupada a play about Lord Chaitanya he had found in the library, and Prabhupada said it wasn't bona fide. So Prabhupada decided to prepare an outline for a bona fide play and have Hayagriva write it. I will give you the whole plot complete, Srila Prabhupada said. Then all you will have to do is execute it. Prabhupada was in a relaxed, jolly mood, intent on relating the events of Lord Chaitanya's life. He had prepared an outline of 23 scenes, and now he wanted to expound each one. Hayagriva had barely enough time to understand what Prabhupada was about to do, and almost no time to prepare himself for note taking as Prabhupada began describing the first scene. First scene, he began, is that people are passing on the road with Sankirtan, just as we do. There is a very nice procession with Mridanga and Kartals and the bugle, and all people are doing Sankirtan in the ordinary way. We have to make a nice procession. The second scene shows Kali as decorated blackish with royal dress and very ugly features, and his queen is another ugly featured lady. So they are disturbed. They will talk amongst themselves that there is the Sankirtan movement now. So how shall we prosecute our business in this age of quarrel, Kali Yuga? In that scene, there will be in one corner two or three people drinking. The scene will be like that. The age of quarrel personified and his consort are sitting in the center. In one corner, someone is talking. In one corner, someone is taking part in drinking, and in another part, somebody is illicitly talking of lust and love with a woman. In another section, there is a slaughtering of a cow, and in another section, gambling. In this way, that scene would be adjusted. And in the middle, the ugly man, Kali, and the ugly woman will talk that we are now in danger. The The Sankirtan movement has been started. What to do? In this way, you have to finish that scene. Then the third scene is very nice. Rasa dance. Hayagriva interrupted. He had some of his own ideas about what he called the dramatic point of view. I think, Hayagriva said, strongly articulating his words, this can apply for the whole world in the sense that the names may be Indian, but I think the exhibition you described of the assembly of Kali and his consort Sin and the exhibition of illicit sex in the slaughterhouse can all be from Western prototypes. Srila Prabhupada said that he had no objection to Hayagriva's suggestion, but that he didn't want people to think he was singling out Westerners as if they were the only ones who committed illicit sex. Hayagriva was about to reply but decided that this was no time to quibble. Swamiji was eager to go on describing the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. Prabhupada. Rasa dance means Krishna and Radharani in the center and the gopis are surrounding. You have seen that surrounding scene when they were dancing with us the other day in the park, hand to hand. Hayagriva. Yes, yes. Prabhupada. So, one Krishna and one gopi, they are dancing. That could be the scene. Then the Rasa dance should be stopped and Krishna will talk with the gopis. Krishna will say to the gopis that, my dear friends, you have come to me in the dead of the night. It is not very good because it is the duty of every woman to please her husband. So, what your husband will think if you come in such dead of night? So, please go back. So, in this way, the gopis will reply that you cannot request us to go back because with great difficulty and with great ecstatic desire we have come to you, and it is not your duty to ask us to go back. In this way, you arrange some talking that Krishna is asking them to go back, but they are insisting, no, let us continue our rasa dance. Then, when the rasa dance is finished, the gopis will go, and then Krishna will say, these gopis are my heart and soul. They are so sincere devotees, they do not care for family encumbrances or any bad name. They come to me, so how shall I repay them? He was thinking, how shall I repay their ecstatic love? So he thought that I cannot repay them unless and until I take up their situation to understand me. But I myself cannot understand me. I have to take the position of the gopis, how they are loving me. So, with that consideration, he took the form of Lord Chaitanya. Therefore, Krishna is blackish and Lord Chaitanya is the color of the gopis. The whole life of Lord Chaitanya is the representation of the gopis' love toward Krishna. That should be painted in the picture of this scene. Do you have anything to ask? Okay, we'll pause here. Krishna. Anybody would like to share anything from today's reading? Any thoughts, reflections? This reminds me of, again, like Prabhupada says, the whole life of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the representation of the gopis' love for Sri Krishna. And again, how the prayer, like we see, that Jai Gaura say, Jai Krishna, Jai Gaura say Jagannath. So Krishna is not different from Gaura, and Krishna is not different from Jagannath. As we were reading, as we were singing the prayer this morning, Jagannath Ashtakam, it says, Jagannath has a flute in his left hand, and he's performing his pastimes on the banks of river Yamuna. So that is the same Govind, the same Damodar, same Madhav that we were singing last week with Govinda Damodar Sotram. And the same Govinda has taken the form of Lord Jagannath because he wants to be so merciful. He has his eyes always open, right? And Krishna, to experience the mood of the gopis, comes in the mood of Srimati Radharani as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he is, by virtue of, or by symbol of pulling the Jagannath Rath, he's showing that how we have to welcome Krishna into our heart. Our heart is like the chariot, and we should have Jagannath placed on the chariot, and using the Mahamantra, which is the ropes of Mahamantra, we should be pulling Jagannath into our heart. So there was one nice story I was hearing recently in one of the lectures by Maharaj about how Jagannath's servants, the Brahmanas, as we were reading, they perform all the worship of Jagannath throughout the year. But during the Jagannath Rath Yatra procession, which is almost like a month, because after the Snan Yatra, and when the deities bathe, after that they fall ill for 15 days, and then after that they recover, and then the Rath Yatra starts, and then after that now that Jagannath has come back after visiting the Gundicha Mandir, which symbolizes Jagannath going from Kurukshetra to Vrindavan. So this whole pastime. And then Maharaj was saying that how in the past, for this has been going on for centuries now, and those brahmanas, they get rest for 1 month during this month of Jagannath Rath Yatra. So for 11 months, every single day, Jagannath eats so much, right? At least 7, 8 times. There is opulent bhoga that is offered to Lord Jagannath. There's so many quintals of rice and bhoga that is prepared every single day. So there's a lot of service every single day. And imagine doing that for 365 days a year. So of course these brahmanas also are tired. So Jagannath gave them rest for 1 month, and he says, I will go out and I will visit my devotees outside. So that's why Jagannath comes out, and he bestows his mercy upon all the fallen conditioned souls who cannot even enter the temple. But during that 1 month, there are these daitas. Daitas are the kind of the untouchables. They are the low caste people from the forest people. They are heavily built, and they are able to carry Jagannath onto the earth, and they are the ones who serve. So anyway, that story that he was narrating, the Brahmanas sometimes they also become greedy because they are personally serving Jagannath for the whole year, almost 11 months. So they used to go out. So this has been going on. This is a tradition. So these Brahmanas, they go out to different parts of the country, and they will take different paraphernalia of Lord Jagannath, and then they will ask for donation in return, right? So they'll collect funds, and they'll say, I'm the personal servant of Lord Jagannath, and I'll offer whatever you have to offer personally to Lord Jagannath. So that's how they will collect, which is okay, and they're collecting on behalf of Jagannath as his personal servant. But sometimes they become also greedy, like Brahmanas, because they are not in very good condition, right? Materially, generally, Brahmanas, they are not very materially wealthy. So, and they collect, sometimes they also become greedy. So, this pastime was from many centuries ago. And there's this particular Brahmana, he goes to Delhi, and then he goes every year after year like this. And then once the wealthy uh, Vaishyas, business people in Delhi, they will tell him that, oh, you should go to Rajasthan. Rajasthan, there is this wonderful king, and he has only one daughter. And if you go and approach his daughter, if she is pleased, he will give you everything, gold and rubies and jewels, whatever you desire. And so he says, oh, that's a good idea. He becomes even more greedy. So he goes and he goes to Rajasthan, and then he meets, somehow he writes this, sends this message through the servants of the king to this princess. And then the princess gets this letter, and he says that, I'm a personal servant of Jagannath. Whatever you would like to offer, please, offer, and then I will personally offer it to Jagannath. So this princess, she thinks, she says, "Oh, this is she's a very pious princess. She's very devoted to Krishna, and she thinks, this is Lord Jagannath. He's the Lord of the universe. Sri Lakshmi is his wife. What can I give him? There's no need for him to get any, money or wealth or any jewels. He's the Lord of the universe and husband of Lakshmi Devi. What will my wealth do for Lord Jagannath? So she thinks like that. She's thinking. So she sends a message back saying that I need some time to decide, what I can offer to the Lord. And this Brahmana is thinking in his mind, oh, she's going to, give a lot of donation that I can take back for myself. And so 1 day passes, 2 days passes, 3 day passes, and he's getting more restless because this, like we said, Jagannath Rath Yatra is only for the process of 1 month when they get a break. So within 1 month they have to go back, and that time there are no trains or any mode of transportation. So they had to just walk or run, and he was getting restless that time is passing and this princess is not given anything yet. So finally he sends another message saying that I'm waiting and I've not got anything back. Are you going to give anything? If not, I have to go back and do my seva. So then, princess finally, long story short, princess, after thinking, deliberating for 3 days, finally she just writes a letter. And in her letter, she writes to Jagannath. She says, "Oh Lord, what can I offer you? You are the Lord of the universe, and I am a fallen soul. Only thing that I have after thinking so hard, and only thing that I can offer you is my mind." So she writes that, this is my mind, that मेरा मन ही आपके ही चरणों में अर्पित करती हूँ. So that is the only thing that I can offer, my mind. So this once this guy gets his letter, he thinks, oh, she may have put something in this envelope. It's a sealed envelope. So he takes that and he walks. He goes walking, but then middle of his journey, he realizes that, oh, let me open this and see what she has given. And when he sees that, it's just a piece of paper, just a message, nothing else, he's like, well, what? A princess, a daughter of the king, and she has not given me anything. And finally, he just discards that paper in the jungle, and then he goes back to Lord Jagannath. And then he reaches and he starts performing his services again. Lord Jagannath talks to him. He admonishes him. He said, "Hey, so you're back. What did you bring for me?" He said, and he narrates the story, saying, "What, I'm really, really sad that nothing happened. I went there and I was hoping that this princess will give me a lot of, donation, and nothing. And then Lord Jagannath is really, really angry with him, upset with him. He said, you go every year, you get things on my behalf. I never say anything to you. That is okay. But this year, somebody gave you something, and that was specially meant for me, and you threw it away. And so he really gets, Lord Jagannath becomes really, really angry at this Brahmana, at his act. And then he scolds him. He says, you have to take penance for this. Or, you have to go through some punishment for your act. And he says that whatever you have collected so far, what I want you to do is, and then Lord Jagannath actually, since he's the Lord of the universe and he's present everywhere in every atom, so he actually shows that particular letter and back to that Brahmana. He says, here it is. What I want you to do is put this letter in a golden, like in a silver, and then embrace it with gold, and then finally make it like a necklace, and bring it back to me. And then he says, oh, I don't have anything that I collected this year. He said, no problem. Whatever you collected in the past, that is your punishment. Go make it into a necklace and bring it, and then I will wear it around my heart. So how beautiful that is, that Lord Jagannath, again, he doesn't need anything else. He just needs our pure, loving, devotional service. And that particular princess shows us by her example, how we can offer our mind, because everything else that we have is external. Our senses, our wealth, our name, fame, everything is external. But only thing that we have internal is our mode of devotion within our heart. So when we offer our heart to the Lord, that is the best offering that we can have. So I was just reminded of that since I heard this as part of the Jagannath Rath Yatra pastimes. Okay, we'll pause here for today. Thank you so much for your association. Any other thoughts, concluding comments before we wrap up? If not, we'll stop here. Thank you. We'll end with Vaishnava Pranam prayers. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya cha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णवृंद की जय। जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। शिला प्रभुपाद लीलामृत की जय। श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा श्री सुदर्शन की जय। निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे। हरि हरि बोल। हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna, Hare Bol, Hare Bol.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.